Hello students, in lecture 16 we'll discuss geography chapter 1 resources development. First one is interdependent relationship between nature, technology and institution. Second is types of resources and third is classification of resources. Interdependent relationship between nature, technology and institutions. If we put physical environment, technology and institutions, then human being is the central agency which control all these resources. Meaning, without the human aid, resources cannot be developed. Types of resources. Resources are two types, natural and human. Natural resources are renewable and non-renewable. Renewable are continuous and biological. Continuous, wind, water, solar. Biological, nature, that is flora and fauna. Humans are structure, quantity and quality. Next it comes the classification of resources. So resources are classified on the different basis. On the basis of their origin, resources are divided into two types, that is biotic resources and abiotic resources. Biotic resources are the living resources which are present in living state, that is forest, animals and other organisms. Abiotic resources which are non-living, that is rock, mineral, wind, water, etc. Second is resources on the basis of exhaustibility. The resources which will finish in near future. They are renewable resources. The resources which can be renewed or which are found again and again after their use, that is solar, tidal energy, wind energy, etc. Non-renewable resources, the resources which occur due to a long geological age, that is minerals, coal and fossil fuels. Next is resources on the basis of ownership. Resources on the basis of ownership are categorized as individual resources, the resources which are possessed by individuals like farmlands, agricultural lands, house, car, bus, truck, etc. And all these resources are used by individuals as their personal resources. Community owned resources. The resources include that are accessible to all the members of a community like village grazing grounds, burial grounds, that is generally called Samshan Bhumi, and picnic spots and other picnic parks, etc. The community owned resources. Next category is national resources. Technically, every resource is a national resource within the territory of the country, including our house, including our car, including our bus, truck, etc. Country, the nation has right to use all these, including we people. Human beings are also national resource. Next category is international resource. Resources which are found in exclusive economic zone, that is beyond 200 nautical miles of the oceans. So ocean water. So no individual country can use all these resources without the combined program or the agreement set by all these countries. So these are the international resources beyond 200 nautical miles of EEZ. Next is resources on the basis of status of development, that is potential resources. Potential resources are those resources which have not been put to use but are found in a particular area or region. They are called potential resource, like sun and solar energy or wind energy in Rajasthan and Gujarat is potential resource. Then developed resource. Developed resource includes resource which are surveyed and their quality and quantity is known for utilization. Next is stock. Stock is the material in the environment which have the potential to satisfy our needs but cannot be used because of lack of technology. They are included among stock. For example, water. Water is a stock of two inflammable gases, that is hydrogen and oxygen. Next category of resource is reserve. Reserve are the subset of stock which are used with the help of existing technology or the knowledge. For example, water in lake, water in dam, forest, etc. are reserve which can be used in the near future or immediately. After this, it comes the Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit 1992. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Earth Summit 1992. This was the first Earth Summit of 100 countries. In this meeting, the heads of 100 countries had taken part. So, in June 1992 at Rio de Janeiro, these countries had met. The issue of to protect Earth from global warming and further degradation. Okay, so they assembled and they agreed to sign the agreement on global climatic changes and biological diversity protection. They also adopted Agenda 21. Agenda 21 meaning to protect the earth from global crisis, and countries may also adopt their own methods to control ecological crisis, because every country has its own priority. Every country has its own or the different natural conditions, climatic conditions. So accordingly, every country has to make its local agenda. Then Agenda 21, three things were covered under Agenda 21. It was declared that the world leaders in 1992 of United Nations conference, that is UNCED, United Nations Conference on Environment and Development at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, they declared on sustainable development and fight against environmental damage, poverty and diseases through global mutual cooperation on common interest. Like today whole country is fighting against COVID, so it is part of that. It is part of that. And the last part of this was the one major objective of Agenda 21 was that every local government must draw its own program of global protection. So it is said that act locally and think globally, or think globally, act locally. Then resource planning in India. Resources are planned in India at three stages, or there are three stages of resource planning in India. These three stages are: number one, identification and inventory of resources. Inventory means recording in a book. In the country, this involves surveying, mapping, and quantitative and qualitative estimation of the resources. Second stage, developing a planning structure combined with proper technology, skill, and institutional setup for implementing resource development plan. Means whatever resources you have, it should have a planned structure having with proper technology. What technology we have, how much technology is needed to extract those resources from the earth or from the nature. And third stage is matching the development plans with all over national development plan. Whatever plan we make, it should be part of overall national budget or national plan. Last article of this video is Gandhian thought on conservation of resources. It is important. Based on this, 1 mark or 3 mark questions are asked, that what was the Gandhian philosophy over conservation of resources. Point number 1, Gandhiji was very much concerned in raising his voice about resource conservation in these words: there is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed. It is important statement. It is a statement said by Mahatma Gandhi. There is enough for everybody's need, but not for anybody's greed. Second thing, he placed greedy and selfish people and exploitative nature of modern technology as the root cause, as the main cause for resource depletion at the global level. Gandhiji was against the mass production and he wanted to replace it by production by masses. Mass production means things should not be produced in large number. It should not be put into a dump with the technology. Rather than more and more people should be involved in producing all these things. Thanks a lot for this video and keep on listening and enjoy the videos.